How did you prove your paranoid suspicions were right all along? The overtime started in February, every Tuesday and Thursday, sometimes Saturdays. Big merger coming, Paul explained, loosening his tie at midnight. Corporate needs all hands. It's mandatory. I believed him because after 11 years of marriage, you believe things like that. You believe the exhausted sighs, the rumpled dress shirts, the faint smell of office coffee. You make dinner plates that go cold, cancel date nights, and sleep alone while fiscal quarters apparently demand 60-hour work weeks. By April, the overtime pay should have been substantial, except that our joint account showed the same deposits. It goes to a separate bonus pool, Paul said when I asked. Pays out at year end, better for taxes. I knew nothing about corporate compensation structures, so I nodded. Made sense. Paul handled our finances anyway. He had the business degree, the investment knowledge, the spreadsheet skills. I taught third grade. What did I know about merger bonuses? Then our phone bill arrived. I only opened it because Paul was traveling. Usually he handled all the utilities online, paperless, efficiently. But this paper bill surfaced from some administrative glitch, and there it was. 400 texts to one number. The account details showed contact name, Jess from accounting. Tuesday nights, Thursday nights, Saturday afternoons. The timestamps aligned perfectly with his overtime. When Paul got home from his trip, I placed the bill on the counter. Didn't say anything. Just let him see it while unpacking his laptop bag. You're going through my texts now? He didn't deny anything. Just went straight to offense. That's paranoid, Ellie. Jess coordinates the merger team. We text about presentations. At midnight, time zones, international clients. On Saturdays, mergers don't take weekends off. He had answers for everything. Smooth, reasonable answers that made me feel small for questioning them. Classic Paul, the debate champion who charmed me in college, now using those same skills to make me doubt myself. You want to see the texts? He offered, knowing I'd say no, knowing I'd feel guilty for not trusting him. Go ahead, check my phone. I didn't. Because either I'd find nothing and feel foolish, or I'd find something and have to face it. Instead, I did what I always did. Retreated to grading papers while Paul made investment calls in his office. But something had shifted. Once you see a pattern, you can't unsee it. I started my own accounting. Not of money, of details. I bought a composition notebook, the kind my students used. Logged everything. When Paul left, when he returned, what he wore, what he smelled like. Cologne on supposed overtime nights. Fresh, like he'd reapplied it. ATM withdrawals that didn't match grocery receipts. The gym bag that moved from his car to hers. I'd driven past his office one Tuesday night. His car wasn't there, but I found it at a downtown hotel, parked next to a white Accord with a Brennan Industries accounting department parking sticker. 3 months of documentation filled that notebook. 3 months of overtime, client dinners, and team building exercises. I could have confronted him, could have raged, cried, demanded explanations. Instead, I opened my own bank account. Then I got creative with my summer schedule. Teaching summer school, I told Paul in June. Budget cuts mean extra pay for extended programs. He barely looked up from his phone, probably texting Jess about their next presentation. But I wasn't teaching summer school. I was tutoring privately, cash only, building a fund Paul knew nothing about. 8 students, 5 days a week, $40 an hour. By August, I had $12,000 saved. The revenge part, that would have been satisfying enough. But the real satisfaction came from what I did with Paul's actual overtime. See, Paul was telling the truth about one thing. He was working overtime, just not at the office. Jess ran a consulting firm on the side, and Paul was moonlighting, using his corporate connections to feed her clients. It was against his employment contract, potentially illegal, definitely fireable. I found out through my documentation, cross-referencing his absences with LinkedIn updates from Jess's company, new client announcements that coincided perfectly with Paul's mandatory overtime. The paper trail was beautiful. In September, I sent 2 packages, one to Paul's HR department, anonymously, detailed documentation of his contract violations, complete with timestamps and Jess's client list, one to a divorce lawyer, from me, funded by my summer teaching money. Paul got fired on a Wednesday. He came home at 2 p.m., pale and shaking. Someone reported me. He said, 13 years with the company, gone. That's terrible, I said, grading actual papers at the kitchen table. Good thing I picked up that summer school work. We'll manage. He found the divorce papers that night, tucked into his laptop bag. You knew? His voice cracked. I'm a teacher, I said. I know when someone's copying someone else's work. The house was mine, a premarital inheritance from my grandmother. My summer fund covered a new apartment deposit for him. Jess from accounting dumped him within a week of his firing. Turns out she needed his corporate connections more than his midnight presentations. Funny how he never works overtime anymore.